Welcome back. It's time for some more Prime Cutz. This time, found lurking in the vaults of Amazon Prime is The 10th Victim, a cult film from 1965. It is set in the near future and concerns the Big Hunt, basically a legalized manhunt where contestants must undertake 10 hunts, 5 as a victim and 5 as a hunter. If they survive these 10 hunts, then they effectively get their kind of freedom from the game, and they also win $1 million. It stars Ursula Andress as Caroline, an American contestant in The Hunt, and she is coming up to her last kill required. In the early stages, we see her complete her 9th hunt, with the aid of a garment you may recognise from Austin Powers. After this, Caroline is approached by some executives from a tea company who wish to take a deal with her for some publicity. Our other lead is Marcello Mastroianni as Marcello. We see him here completing, I think, his 6th hunt, and he is going to be Caroline's 10th and final target. He is an interesting character who both seems to revel in the infamy of taking part in the hunt, whilst also being thoroughly bored by life. As you can see, the art direction in the film is amazing. It is a film that is well known for its design work. A lot of these designs you can see, particularly these days, in films that kind of poke fun of kind of futuristic 60s scenarios like Austin Powers. Here we have Caroline with the company executives deciding where they're going to stage the kill for the cameras, whilst Marcello's belongings are being repossessed as his wife and mistress have spent all of his money. Caroline begins to find out all she can about Marcello. She gets to know who she is, whilst he is not aware that who his hunter is. So, posing as a reporter, Caroline meets Marcello and begins to strike up a kind of relationship that twists and turns. Hearing a gunshot, Marcello is off. The film at points takes some strange turns. We have this fantastically strange character who only appears in this one scene set in a kind of big hunt training school that you would see in a James Bond film. We also have Marcello's advisor who helps him through his hunts. And though it's never explained, we see both characters getting these injections. Again, the style goes from everything to the cars as well. We also find out that Marcello is part of a sun cult, and this is something that's kind of an aspect of his character but does not pull into the main plot of the film. It's just an interesting extra detail about the world these characters are living in. A future set world that is close to ours but has subtle differences. And again, just the kind of art direction around the sets is just gorgeous to look at, very a kind of Andy Warhol. Another aspect that is in the film that is kind of briefly mentioned but never expanded upon is the idea that elder people have to be hidden, which Caroline finds in Marcello's house before she has that confrontation with his wife and mistress. Marcello begins to suspect that Caroline is his hunter, so briefly kind of plots an elaborate crocodile pool death for her. One of Caroline's colleagues takes a shot at Marcello to try and throw him off the scent. Ironically, whilst he mentions that can't have been the real hunter because no hunter would miss at that close range, we've seen a lot of hunters in this film miss from that kind of range. Eventually, the two leads have a romantic moment on the beach. And in the morning, Caroline reluctantly seems to drug Marcello, and his entire kind of beach hut is carried. And here we have some wonderful Art Deco design work, some great 60s kind of kitsch as this advert for the tea company is filmed. The climax of which is to be Caroline shooting Marcello on film. At this point, he's just resigned to his fate, it seems, and just laughing the whole thing off. But in a twist, he's done a deal with the tea company himself, staged that kind of death with blanks in Caroline's gun before shooting her. But then another twist as we find out that Caroline has been wearing a bulletproof dress, and now thoroughly pissed off, she's after Marcello for some revenge. But at this point, the pair, whilst fighting, are attacked by Marcello's mistress and wife, who are also thoroughly annoyed with him. Brief gunfight ensues, but amusingly, Marcello's mistress loses interest in trying to kill him when she spots a handsome man that she then starts to chase after. So our leads escape and end up boarding a plane, and there's a lovely kind of final twist in the tale here which I won't ruin, but this is where we leave them absconding together, happy that they're not going to kill each other. It is a wild, mad film. There are lots of elements in here that I've not really talked about. It's a great little cult classic and well worth your time. And you can, like I say, see its influences in all sorts of places. It really does make me think of things like The Prisoner, for example. Do like and subscribe for more Prime Cutz coming up very soon in the future, and I will see you next time.